Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. This is a tier list video. I'm going to be making a tier list of all the shows that I've watched in fall 2022. I've recently completed watching most of them. By most I'm meaning like most of them, not all of them. I've not watched all. It's kind of impossible to do that. There's a few that I kind of skipped. I just went through my anime list and saw the like the what's that called, the average score and all that, and did it. And there's a few things I need to mention at the beginning. First of all, I did not watch a few shows. For example, what's the name of that show? To Your Eternity, I think that's the name. I've still not watched it because I'm waiting for it to end, like actually end. And like I think one more episode is left, one or two episodes are left, so I still haven't watched it. That's why this is not here in this list. I've not included it because I've still not watched it. And if I make another tier list next season, I'll probably include it there. But I've not included that. I've not included Blue Lock because I've still not watched Blue Lock. It is like 24 episodes, so it's still ongoing. Again, that is why I've not included that. And all those animes which are like 24 episodes or something, which I might watch later on, but I haven't watched now, I haven't included them. And all the other animes I've included that I've watched. There is another exception here, which is Isekai Oji-san. I included that because I've completed watching up until the final episode. The final episode has still not come out, so still I've included that because I know what the show is about, and my impressions about it. One episode only left, so I've included that. I've also included Eminence in Shadow. It's still ongoing. Like I said, I think one or two more episodes are left, and but most of it I've watched, so I've also included it. So these are the few exceptional cases. Other than that, every show here I've watched. And yeah, there's like 17 shows over here. And yeah, I'm going to be ranking them into tier lists. So let me talk about the tiers. First of all, the first tier, that is the lowest tier, is meh. The next one is average. The next one is really good. And the final one is top tier shows. I'm going to say something here. I'm only going to be including 3 shows in the top tier shows tier list, not more than that. And all the others will be lower than that. So the top 3 shows that I like, I'll be included in the top tier shows. And yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. And yeah, I'm going to be putting them one by one and talking about them, how I felt about it, and giving my impressions. And yeah, let's get started. It's been a while I've done one of these tier lists, so let us begin then. Okay, so first of all, the first show here on this list is another thing I forgot to mention. The shows that will be put before on the left hand side will be like, if it's in the same tier, the one in the left hand side will be like higher ranked than the one on the right hand side. So even within the tiers, there will be rankings like that. So just wanted to mention that. All right. So the first one, it's Chainsaw Man, and this is a highly anticipated. It was a highly anticipated show. Everyone was so hyped about it. I was also quite excited, even though I did not know what was going on, what this show was. I had no clue, genuinely. But I'll be honest, I was surprised. I have been surprised after watching this, and I'm going to put it in the top tier shows. The first one only, top tier show. And I'll be giving my reason here for why I put it in a top tier show. Now, here's the thing. When everyone started talking about this show, I had no clue about it, and I thought it'll be again one of the like normal shonen anime shows, which will be quite good, very good, but it won't be really top tier in my list because if you know, I don't usually like I love shonen animes. However, it's not that I like shonen animes are not my top tier shows. All my top tier like shows in my top tier list, none of them are shonen. Like for example, my the anime that I love the most, like out of all the animes I've watched, is the Monogatari series. And then there's a few others like Vinland Saga. I don't think Vinland Saga falls in a shonen show, does it? I'm not exactly sure. It's more like a seinen show. Yeah, Vinland Saga. Then there is Gintama. I guess Gintama is a shonen, but I don't think you can put Gintama in a shonen show category. Gintama is like everything. Like it's shonen parody, slice of life, comedy, whatever, like anything you can put in it, science fiction, whatever. Gintama is everything, so I'm not putting that in the shonen show category. So yeah, all these shows that I really love, and none of them are in the shonen show category. Another one that I really love is from the slice of life genre, that is March Comes In Like a Lion. So none of the shows that I truly love are in the shonen show category, like shonen category. That's why I thought I probably will not put it this high when everyone was talking about it. I was like, yeah, it'll be definitely be good. I'm sure it'll be good. People love it, so it must be good. But it probably won't be my top tier show. However, after watching this, I have to say something, that is, not only did I like the show, but I got very interested in, I think, what's his name? The author, Tatsuki Fujimoto, is that his name? I think that's his name. I got extremely interested in his way of storytelling, and I checked out a few of his manga, and I have to say this, guys. He is an exceptional storyteller. Like, not a typical storyteller. I've read a few of his mangas, and they are just phenomenal. Like, actually phenomenal. And like, obviously, the ones that, like, the other mangas that I've read for him, is most of them are like slice of life and stuff, and but there are some really crazy stuff in there which, like, just gives you a bang in the end, and you're like just baffled reading the climax of the series. And I, after reading it, I was like, this guy is amazing as a manga, like, writer, as a storyteller. This guy is amazing, Tatsuki Fujimoto. And I can see hints of that seeping in Chainsaw Man as well. There's so many things in Chainsaw Man that just goes completely, like, like, takes the shonen formula, like, by the throat, and just throws it out of the window. There's so many, like, sections in Chainsaw Man that does that, and it's actually really phenomenal. First of all, the main character, Denji, he is not a typical shonen guy. He's one of the, you could say, just one of the most normal kids that you can find. He just wants to, like just wants to have a nice time. That's it. That's all. His motivations are very simple and very, he doesn't want to become the Hokage. He just he just wants to just live his life in a normal fashion. And to live his life in a normal fashion, he has to become abnormal, and that's the whole thing. And not only that, there's so many things in this show that actually, like, just struck me like really crazy, and that's why I got so interested in, like, the other mangas that this person wrote. And I've checked out a few of them. I don't remember the names, but I remember reading uh, Goodbye. What was the name? Sayonara 80 or something like that. That one I read. There was another one I read that had like something with a guy stopping a bullet or whatever. Those are like one shots, and there's like so many of them. There's also one with like, I forgot, but there's a lot of them. I don't remember the exact names, but I remember the stories. And crazy, it's crazy storytelling. I still haven't read Fire Punch though. I think Fire Punch, or was it Fire something like that. I haven't read it, but I do plan to read it later on. However, yeah, this person is amazing. Like, whatever he's thinking of Chainsaw Man in the future. I've not read the manga, but I'm really looking forward to it. And the show in itself, season one, was amazing. That the like, like, Mappa did a phenomenal job in the animation. Every episode was just so good. Varied ending songs every episode, with some crazy people singing the songs. Like, Aimer was there, Eve was there, I think TK was there. Like, like just everyone was there. So so all these things, like, include, like, all these things, like, all converged. And I have to say, I never thought I would put this high, but I have to put it. It'll be injustice otherwise. So yeah, Chainsaw Man is there in the top tier shows list. And I'm really looking forward to this, because Tatsuki Fujimoto, his storytelling is just out of the world. It's like something that I've never read. Like, it's just baffling and it's just shocking sometimes. Like, you just like stare at the, like, like the what's happening. You just stare at it for a long time, and you're like, God damn! Never would I have thought that something like this could happen while starting this. So yeah, that's basically this show. So I'm looking forward to the future of this. And yeah, and there you go. So that was the first one. And okay, the next one is Spy Family season 2. Now, I'll be completely honest about this. I felt it was average. If I had to put season 1 part 1, I would probably put it in really good. However, this part, it had a good part, but I felt like there was a few things lacking, most probably because of how a few episodes had barely nothing happening. Like I really liked a few of the episodes, for example, that those few episodes with where they found, like in the beginning of the season, it started really strong, Bond, we found Bond, and then we had the whole bombing incident, I really loved those episodes, but then it started slowing down completely, and it was like just everyday stuff happening. I love those type of things, I'm not saying that I don't like that. I love slice of life shows. It had like a very slice of lifey feel to it. However, like comparing it to the season 1, where season 1 also had those, but it was not that much. It was fairly properly balanced. Like for example, 2 episodes of really amazing things happening, 1 episode of very like slow stuff going on. Then another 2 episodes, but here we had like continuous 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes continuous of just nothing happening, just slowing down. And I feel like that kind of just, I don't know, like kind of took me out of the whole thing. And then again, there was like another episode which was really good. For example, Fiona's episode. Fiona's, I think 2 episodes she had like back to back. Those two were really good. And then again, it slowed down. And I felt like that. And then later on, we get to meet the big guy. What's his name? The actual the Desmond's dad, whatever his name is. Yeah, that was also very interesting. But it's like going up down up down up down, that's what happened. And I feel like that is the main reason why I would definitely have put season 1 in really good, but for season 2 or part 2 of season 1, I'm going to put it here in average. Like that's the thing. Like, I like the show in itself, but I felt like this part was a little bit it slowed down. But yeah, like no worries, because like I said, it's a really good show. It's like average doesn't mean that it's bad, you know like I liked it, but I feel like there was a few things missing there, and I would have loved if everything was kind of properly, like like kind of. Anyways, but yeah, there you go. So Spy Family season 2 here in average. Right, Mob Psycho final season. Oh boy, this was good, really good. I'm gonna put it in really good. And here's the thing. I have to say, the final few episodes, especially the final episode of Mob Psycho 100, was probably one of the best things I've ever seen. One of the best endings in animes that I could have witnessed. I saw that, and I was just blown away by how beautifully it ended, and how, what can I say? Like we've been seeing Mob for a long time. Like when did season 1 start? Very long time ago. But then, like like every episode was really good, and it was so good, and it actually ending in such a nice way. Like I really liked it. And not only that, this whole season also had a lot of good stuff, and it was really good. So that is why I'm going to put it here in really good. I cannot put it in the top tier shows because there's a few other ones that I want to put there. Like I said, I won't be putting more than 3 shows in the top tier shows tier list. So that is why I'm forced to put it in really good. Otherwise, it's a really good show. And season 3 was like, it did it so well. It ended a show so well. Like it just, what can I say? It touched my heart. It really did. And I was not expecting this show to have such a good ending. Like yeah, it like everything fell into place. And yeah, I'm not trying to say anything because I'm guessing there might be a few people who haven't watched it still. But yeah, just so good. So I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with me on this, because I've seen most people praise the ending of this show extremely highly. And yeah, I'm glad that it was not big. Mob Psycho wasn't big. It was like 3 seasons, but it was so short and sweet that it's just so amazing. And yeah, there you go, really good tier. Okay, Bleach, Thousand Years Blood War, and oh boy, I would have loved to put this in the top tier shows, but I cannot. Again, like I said, not more than 3. Like this season had a few handpicked shows which were really good. However, I won't be. If I could, I would have put it here. But like I said, there's 2 other shows that I'm planning on putting over here. That is why I'm not going to put Bleach here. I'll be putting Bleach over here. Okay, here before Mob Psycho, because nostalgia is a thing. I watched Bleach almost like 10 years ago or something, and it was one of the first shows that I've started watching when I started anime, and yeah, seeing it come back bigger and better than ever was just so fulfilling. And it actually provided what it said it would. Like, we saw the trailers, we saw everything, and I was actually thinking while seeing the trailer, will it be this good? Is it like like those video games which give us some crazy cinematic trailer, and then we see the game is like some trash stuff. I thought, oh, is something like that going to happen? This is just the trailer. Maybe they're actually like just like making it like this, and later on the anime will be not as good as we see in the trailers. But no, it wasn't. The trailer and the final product was actually identical. And yeah, the animations, like, oh my god, I got blown away by the animation. This was just amazing. The animation in itself is like 10 out of 10. And not only that, I think they included a few extra scenes, as far as I can gather from. I reacted to it on my channel. From the comments, as far as I could gather, a few people told me that there's a few things, extra things that they included, which was really nice, which the manga readers didn't have. For example, I think the Gote 13, the previous ones, that I think someone in the comments told me that that was not part of the manga, and that was like a new thing that they added or something like that. Like the character, so all these, like, little bits and pieces of new things. And yeah, like the storyline seemed really, like, like balanced. It wasn't, I don't think it was rushing, neither was it like lagging. It seemed very pleasant to watch it. And yeah, we see Ichigo after so long, all our crew, we get to see the whole crew. And there's a few revelations we got, which was really crazy. Not few, but a lot. And this is one thing that I really love about the author of Bleach, is that there's some really good twists. Like, even in season 1, season 2 had its fair share of good twists. And unfortunately, I was spoiled about one of the twists, but not to worry, because there were a few others after that, which was really good, and I myself was really, like, like baffled by it. But yeah, it was amazing. And everything was really good. And I can't wait to see, like, see this come back. This is coming back in, I think, when, April? No, Ju- July, or is it August? I'm not sure. Something like that. Sometime like that. But it's coming back, and yeah, can't wait to continue this. And yeah, there you go. So Bleach, really good tier at the top. I would have loved to put it in the top tier shows, but there's a few that I am planning to put there, so I cannot do that. All right, the next one, Eminence in Shadow. Ooh, this one is a show that I have to say, I'm going to put it here. I have to say, this is a show that I've heard a lot about. I heard a lot of people talking about, and I've heard it was really good. That's why I decided to react to it, and it was one of the best decisions I ever took. I did not know whether it would be good or not, but listening to the people talking about it, I figured it would be good because everyone was praising it, and that's why I started reacting to it. And it was one of the best decisions in my life, because, oh boy, this show is it's one of a kind. It this show doesn't take itself seriously, and I'm glad about that. There's so many messed up stuff happening, but the main character is just like, whatever, like, and just does everything so, like, smoothly and, like, easily. It's baffling sometimes, and some things that he comes up with is truly baffling, and I'm just I feel like every episode made me surprised about one thing. What the, like, at least one thing that the main character do. Every episode has at least one thing that the main character do that just makes your jaw drop down completely. And it's hilarious. It's it's just, like, if you like one of those shows where the main character is like broken, kind of powerful, you'll love this. So I don't know how many people have watched this, or how many people are watching this. It's quite popular. So I feel like a lot of people know about this by now. But if you haven't watched it, and you like isekai, like, power fantasy, I think that's what you call these type of things, just watch this. It's hilarious, and the comedy is impeccable. It just hits you in the in the ticklish part, and it just tickles you nice. So yeah, this is so good, and like I said, I think one or two more episodes are left, and but most of the anime has ended. So like like I'm that's why I've included this here. I thought I would not include it, but I was like, yeah, almost the whole anime is ended, and I've like watched it. I've been reacting to it, so I'm going to include this. So there you go. I've put this just below Mob Psycho, and yeah, like one of the really good shows in fall. It has like 20 episodes. That's why it's still ongoing. And yeah, there you go. Okay, the next one, Bocchi the Rock. And yeah, this might come as a surprise, but I'm going to be putting this in the top tier shows. Yeah, I am doing that. I'm putting this above Bleach. Why? Because yeah, it was I didn't expect to enjoy myself so much watching this. Bocchi the Rock was definitely one of the best shows in fall 2020 two. And what can I say? I heard a lot of people talk about this a lot, but I was like, okay, but like I was like, how good can this be? It's a slice of life show about a band, like it must be like K-On! Or something, like I was like, it must be like something like that. And like just nice stuff, like just nice slice of lively stuff, just like like a guitar, not a guitar, sorry, like a band that they're going to play, perform, and just do nice slice of lively stuff, cute stuff. That's what I expected, and oh boy, I I started the anime with that expectation, and by the ending episode, I was just like, yeah, my whole perception of this show was changed. This show is chaos. And the best part of this show is Bocchi, the main character. She she's phenomenal. And oh my god, I didn't think I would like this show that much. There isn't a single episode and there isn't a single thing that Bocchi says that doesn't make you laugh. Everything that this girl says is just sometimes so relatable that it actually is borderline funny, and sometimes it's just so baffling, and the things that she does is just, they did a really good job. And I feel like Bochi was like the main thing that made this show so good. Like all the other characters were also really good and like charming and everything, they had their own things, you know but Bochi was just fantastic. Like she had this, what can I say, this weird, have you seen what's that show, have you seen that show, the show where there's this girl, this, what was the name of the show? There's this show, I forgot the name. It would have been a very good example. uh the, I'm gonna try to explain what this show is about. That show is about. There's this girl who, like, oh, I'm not popular because of you, or something like that. There's this girl with like this hair, like huge, like like just unkept hair, black hair, and she's like she just does one of the most cringiest thing possible in the show. So bad, it's so cringe. That show. What was the name? It had some kind of a name like the reason why I'm not popular is because of you, or something like that was the name. I remember, and if I'm able to explain properly, you remember that show? Um, Kind of like that, the main character I'm talking about. However, Bochi is definitely not like her. Instead of cringe, like the cringe, that show was like full cringe. It was actually very cringe. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the show to be cringe, and that's why the main character was that cringe. But if you take out all the cringe parts from that girl and put in funny with a little bit of like like a loner type of like thing, and put it here, that's basically Bochi. She's that loner character who just like just hides in her closet. But everything that comes out of her mouth is just comedy. And there's so many references in this show, it's crazy. There's like a lot of references, like just some crazy references. And not only that, like Bochi is just wild. She's just she's always like just stutters around talking about stuff, like can't speak properly, always stutters. And not only that, like props to the voice actor, who was the person who voice acted her, just nailed it, completely nailed it. And it was just like I just loved her character so much. And yeah, I'm just talking about Bochi because I feel like she was like the main thing about the show that made it so hilarious and made me put it in top tier show. Because I don't think if Bochi was not the main character of the show, I probably would have put this in like almost at in average or something, or maybe at really good, but almost at the end I would have put it. However, Bochi just boosted that. She just took the show and just carried it up on his shoulder, on her shoulder, and just it's on the top tier shows now. And yeah, I was not expecting that. Like I said, I started watching this show expecting some slice of life stuff, just four girls just making a band and just playing, and I got comedy, and I got pure comedy. And Bochi just made me laugh every episode, every moment, like every time she opened her mouth, I was laughing. And yeah, this show is that good. And like it's just amazing. And not only that, the few there's a few sections which were kind of serious about it as well. But yeah, overall it was funny, sometimes serious. And yeah, we see a few girls chasing their dreams about in the band. And it was a really good show. That's why I put it here, even above Bleach. And yeah, a few people might not agree with me on that, but this is just my opinion. I this show felt like really a breath of fresh air to me, and I just enjoyed it immensely, and that's why it's here. And yeah, there you go. All right. The next one. Okay, this one. I'm kind of conflicted about this. Okay, I have to put this here. What was the name of this show? More than lovers, less than something like Fufu Ijo Koibito Miman or something like that. I'll be putting it here in average, and yeah, I cannot put it in really good. I'm sorry. I enjoyed watching this. However, I cannot put it in really good. Seeing what shows are here, I cannot put it in the same tier as there. But I really enjoyed it. This one, I have to say, when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh my god, this will be another drama type, like just one of those drama type shows. Like the synopsis is basically they're like having this this, what was the name, the pseudo marriage thing that they did, where they're going to people, person, male and a female, are going to live together. And they'll get like points for how good they are at being a married couple. And if you're able to rise at the top five or something, you can change your partner. And the main character and the girl, they did not really was happy with each other's partner. And the partner that they wanted were paired together, so they had the what was that word, they wanted to like rise up so that when they'll go to top five, they can change. And as everyone knows, they start liking each other as it's more time. It kind of is a lot like Toradora. You could, if you think about the synopsis. However, it's definitely not Toradora. Like Toradora is like one of my top rom-com animes, and I like I'm like this was nowhere near that, like not possible. However, it was not that bad. The I thought it would be very bad, because of I don't like unnecessary drama. Like that's why I've kept myself far away from a few shows. For example, Domestic Girlfriend. I'm never going to watch that. I heard a lot of things, and I definitely am never going to watch that. What's the name? Rental Girlfriend. Yeah, that's another one. I've watched season one. I hated it, and I just stayed myself like 1,000 miles after, just because of the main character. The main protagonist is annoying as hell. The girls are fine, but main character is just so annoying. I decided to just stay away from it. So like these type of shows. So if you look at this, and you'll probably realize that it kind of the whole synopsis is kind of like the same. But I like this. This had drama, but not the bad kind of drama. Um, it had very what can I say, like very low tiered drama, like not much. And any kind of misunderstanding they had was kind of cleared up by the next episode, or by that episode only. So instead of just dragging it for like 5 to 10 episodes, they easily cleared it out. And like it was very low, like tier drama. So I liked it, like the main characters were nice. I liked the main characters, and it ended in a very, like nice way. And yeah, everything was quite good. So the impressions that I started this anime with was, like kind of overtaken, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So that's why I'm saying that I really liked myself, like I enjoyed myself watching this, but I cannot put this over in the really good tier. So that's why over here I'm going to put it. So yeah, if you like slice of life, a little bit of sprinkle of drama, like little bits and pieces of drama, yeah, you can watch this. It's nice. All right, reincarnated as a sword. Oh boy, I'm struggling. Oh, I cannot put it in really good. I liked it, like it was really good, but I have to say, it was a really cute show. It was really cute show. I'm putting it in average over here. I should have made another tier over here. I feel like, oh my god, oh, this is just. But no, it's okay. Yeah, I cannot put it in really good because I liked it, but I did not like it as much as I like these shows. If you know what I mean, like Bleach, Mob Psycho, and Eminence. But yeah, I'm going to talk about this. It's basically a character gets incarnated as a sword, and this little girl, like finds him and becomes strong. It's like more like a father-daughter relationship, that type of, like like one of those, like genres that we have had for a few years, childcare genre or whatever you call it, that type of show. But the main character is a sword, like that's the thing. And it started in a very, like very nice way. It was like very good, interesting, and but I felt like it kind of got repetitive by the end of it. Like not repetitive, I would call it, but generic. Yeah, that's the word. I feel like it kind of got generic, but the main characters and all of them were quite cute, and like they were quite strong. They were unlocking powers and everything. But like I said, it kind of became a little bit generic. However, the characters are really good. I feel like the characters kind of like just pull the show together. Like I forgot her name, the main girl. Forgot her name. She was the best part of the show. Obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. And yeah, the sword was also good, and there was a few other characters. I don't remember much about this show. I've forgotten. Like that's the thing. That is the reason why I'm saying, like it became a little bit generic. So I cannot really, like. It's been a while I've watched this. Like I remember watching this as soon as it ended, so it's been quite a while. So I cannot remember stuff properly. But I do remember by the end of it, I was like, it's kind of getting a little bit boring and generic. However, all in all, it was a good show. That's why I'm putting it over here. And I cannot put it on top, but here I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like a lot of people might actually disagree with me on this, because I've seen a lot of people really liking this show. Like because I do know, like these type of shows, the main, like thing is not, like storytelling. It's just like cute stuff, like I think, what's the name of the show? Bofuri, the one with the shield girl. Shows like that. It's like that type of a show. So those shows, they don't. Their strong suit is not storytelling. Obviously, the strong suit is just having nice characters doing cute things, and like having a little bit of a, like battles and stuff, and so that's it. But yeah, I'm going to put it here still. So I feel like a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but it's just my opinion. All right, next one, Uzaki-chan. Okay, this one I have to say, I was expecting a lot from this season. But I was disappointed until the end. Until the end, I'm gonna put it here at the end of average. Now, why would you say? Because like this is a problem with these shows, is that it's just, they drag it so much. Sometimes it gets like a little bit, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like I remember this season dragging it up until the final 2 episodes, I think. Then they had a huge character development, a huge character development, I would say. However, before that, up until that, it had the same thing of just Uzaki going and like like, oh senpai, let's hang out, and senpai like like getting embarrassed, and then Uzaki getting embarrassed, and still teasing him, like, the same formula over and over. And like them doing the, like, some things, and those two, like that guy and that girl trying to stick them together. And like it became like repetitive. Like it kept going like that, like, over and over again, like, like senpai thinking that, oh, not senpai, what the hell am I, yeah, senpai, isn't it? I forgot his name, I'm going to call him senpai. Like, him thinking that, oh, like, like, do I have feelings for Uzaki? But then, like, oh no, I definitely don't have. And Uzaki's like, like it's just same thing, just just going over and over again up until the end, where they actually have a little bit of a really good development. And I have to say, I would have put this in May if not for the last two episodes, last 2 or 3 episodes. I would have actually put it in May, because if it went like that and ended in a very, like, like generic way like that, without any development, I would have definitely put it here. Because I do know these shows are actually, their strong suit is basically just having the everyday life, like, for example, Takagi-san, Nagatoro, however, a little development, I expect something like that. And this this is just the same thing over and over again. And I'll be honest here, out of all the shows that I've watched, which is like the same formula, uses the same formula, like one boy one girl, that thing, like Takagi, Nagatoro, and this show, what was a few other shows, I forgot the name, Soredomo Ayumu wa Yosetekuru, that one. What else, there's a few other as well. I'm forgetting their names. Anyways, I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. All these shows, out of all these shows that I've watched, Uzaki is the one that I like the least. Like, this is my completely honest opinion. I don't know why, but out of all those shows, if I had to rank all of those shows, Uzaki would probably be at the end. Even though Uzaki was probably the first one to come. Like, Uzaki's been going on for a long time. Like, Nagatoro and all that came a lot later. Oh no, Takagi came at the first. At the first it was Takagi, then I think Uzaki came. Yeah, something like that. But still, like, if I had to rank all of them, I'd put Uzaki at the end. That's my personal preference. But yeah, like that is why it's just, even though, like, like it's, I liked it, but the repetitiveness kind of made me a little bit, like, just judge it a little bit harshly. That's why I'm going to be a little bit strict, and I'm going to be putting it here at the end of average. But yeah, average is not bad. I'm not putting it in May. I enjoyed it. But I felt like it was missing something. But the last few episodes really saved it. Really saved this season, because I remember the last few episodes having a really good chunk of character development for both Senpai and Uzaki. So yeah, that's why it's here. All right. The next one, Beast Tamer, and I'm gonna be putting this in Meh. Like, it was generic. Like, one word I would have to say, it was extremely generic. I was watching what was happening in the show, and I knew everything that is going to happen after that, even though haven't watched the show. That's how generic it was. It was just the same from, like, there was a little bit of an interesting thing at the beginning when it started, where the main hero party just threw him out, because they felt that he is not capable enough. That was kind of a little bit of an interesting. I wouldn't call it interesting though. That we have seen that multiple times in other shows as well. Like, I think Arifureta had that as well, where they betrayed him. So like, it started like that, and then he starts meeting these, like, girls, like these monster girls that he had like a connection with, can, like, make a pact with, and he started getting their powers, and he became stronger and stuff like that. And it just kept repeating over and over again, repeating the same thing. Like, one person comes in, they, like, spend a time together with him, like, like, kind of like their story, something happens, they start liking him, makes a pact, go to the next girl, same thing happens for 2 3 episodes, finished, go to the next girl, and it just goes like that, one after the other. In the middle there was a little bit of conflict with the hero team, and then again it just repeats the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is not interesting. uh the characters were okay. The main character is one of the most generic main characters I've ever seen, the main protagonist. And yeah, that was it. So this is meh. Like, I wouldn't say that I hated it, but I was just watching it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is just too generic. But yeah, there you go. This is the first show that I'm putting in May. Akiba Maid War. Okay, this one was oh boy, this one was a shock to me, I would say. I would put this before this. Before like this show, Reincarnated as Soul, even before this, I really like this show, Akiba Maid War. Um, I'm not going to say anything. Just watch it. This is wacky. This is a wacky show. I really don't want to say anything about this because I want everyone to feel the same thing that they that I felt when I watched this show. And should I say something? All right, I'm gonna just say a few things, like just give a little bit. This show is wild, and it's basically maids with guns, and like maid war happening in Akihabara, and two factions battling against each other. One thing I'm going to say about this show is that don't like okay, no, I'm not going to say that. It will be a huge spoiler. But yeah, like here's one thing I can say about this show: don't take this show seriously, because yeah, a lot of interesting thing happens here, and I myself was actually baffled seeing how the storyline was going, and then in the end I realized like, oh yeah, well, this is a normal everyday life for these people, so I shouldn't be that much like yeah, like just enjoy it, don't take it too seriously, and you'll have an amazing time. And yeah, this show had a lot of, I wouldn't call it twists, but actually baffling scenes which made me just my mouth just open, and I was like, oh, so yeah, this is happening. I'm trying to like not say anything because I feel like everyone who haven't watched this should definitely watch it just to get a huge like a surprise or a shock, because yeah, this was something unique, and I'll be putting it even before all of like Uzaki Reincarnated as a Soda, because I really enjoyed it, and I love the wackiness. All right, the next one, Renai flops. Now here's the thing about this show. I actually liked it, but again, it was generic, even though it was also unique. I'm gonna put it here in meh. What? I'm gonna put it in meh at the top, because Renai flops. Like I actually did not expect anything. If you go in my anime list, you can see there's like a very low score, 6.4 or something. It has. So I was not expecting anything, but like I have to say, like even though I wasn't expecting anything, what they showed, I kind of liked, and it surpassed my expectations a little bit. Like, what can I say? Like, this is a very interesting concept. This show is a very interesting concept, and I feel like if they were able to execute it better, this would have gotten a very good score, and a lot of people would have loved it. It had a very interesting concept, but it became like the execution was extremely generic. Like, I'm not going to say anything. It's actually again a big spoiler. Like a lot of these shows actually have huge spoilers that I'm not trying to say here. Even though this is a show with 6.4 rating, it has a very unique concept and a very crazy spoiler surrounding it. So I'm not going to say anything. If you want to watch it. But I'm going to say here that you probably won't like the execution, but the concept you will like. No, I liked the concept of this show. I liked how they did everything a little bit unique, not like the normal generic harem show. It had a unique concept, but the execution was extremely generic. Like whatever was happening was unique, but when we realized what the unique concept is, everything else surrounding it was extremely generic. Like the same thing, like which we show in like thousands of anime, slice of life, rom-com shows we see. The same thing getting repeated. However, the unique surrounding it was very the concept surrounding it was very unique. So I'm trying my best not to say anything that you get spoiled. But if you have enough free time and you just want to watch something, you can watch this, because like I said, it's nothing crazy good or nothing good. However, it's unique, but at the same time, it's generic. So that's all I'm going to say. That is why I have to put it. I cannot put it higher than meh. But if there was like a separate tier for uniqueness, I would put it in like a more than average tier because it had a very unique concept and I liked it quite a bit. All right, the next one. Uh, Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury. Yes, I'm gonna put it over here, just before Eminence in Shadow. This one was really, and this is my first time watching Mobile Suit Gundam. I remember, like in one of my videos, I was talking about all the shows in fall 2022, and someone recommended me to watch this because this show is not related to, like, it's related to the other Gundam shows, but it's not like you have to watch the others to watch this. Nothing like that. It's like a brand new start kind of thing, and that's why I was like, all right, let me watch this. And I have to say, it was a very pleasant experience. There were so many good things about this show, and which from Mercury was like I try to keep. I don't really watch mecha shows that much, but it had obviously it had its mecha part things, like going on. But most of the things were like like related to the people, their interpersonal relationships. There was quite a few bits of politics in this show as well, which I really kind of liked. Like high heavy politics, I in anime I don't really like. Like shows that like all constantly every episode is just filled with politics. However, this had a little fairly bit good amounts of politics of characters trying to like manipulate others, like but it was really good. And yeah, the main character was an interesting character, and yeah, I had a good time. This was my first time watching anything related to the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, and I started with this. And I'm really looking forward to the part 2 that is going to come out, I think, from April, something like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Uh, but yeah, yeah, it was a really good experience. Like every episode I felt like I really like drew me in more and more into the series, and every episode was really enjoyable to watch. And yeah, that is why I'm going to put it in the really good tier. All right, do it yourself. This is a slice of life show which I'm going to put in the average tier, at the end almost. It's a slice of life show of, like like of DIY, like girls doing stuff themselves, like making DIY stuff, and has a little bit of a storyline, like nothing much. You know what a slice of life storyline has. But yeah, it's a varied cast of characters. A lot of characters this show has, and yeah, it was pleasant to watch. If you like slice of life shows, you'll like this one as well. So yeah, DIY or do it yourself. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, Isekai Oji-san. Yes. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna put it before Gundam. Oh, this show is yeah. It was it was really good. It is really good, I would have to say, because the last episode still hasn't aired. I'm waiting for it. But yeah, this is. I think this show was like, oh, it's like, it's comedy, has a lot of isekai bits, but the character is mainly kind of like kind of recalling what he went through. So it's not like actually happening, but he's like recalling stuff and telling us the story. And yeah, like Oji-san is amazing. He's just he's just this nice person, just who's extremely dense. Like just everyone loved him in, like all the, like it's like had a a cast of characters just really adoring him, like like a Sundre elf, like a stoic, like what was that girl, the Mabel, what was she, I forgot. uh like a I forgot what she was, but anyways, another character, like a character. And there was this, like like this hero uh girl, like everyone like really liked him. However, he's like, yeah, I don't understand. And he talks about that to his nephew, and his nephew, who knows so much about anime, he's like, God damn it, Oji-san, like like, why did you do this? Like, like how we feel watching anime characters, dense anime characters, just like dodging advances from the person who is throwing the affection at them, like dodging them flawlessly. They're so dense, you know. That guy was basically us. He's like, God damn it, why did you do this? This was clearly a sign like this, And Oji-san doesn't understand. But yeah, it was really fun. There was a few sections which were what can I say? Like, it's very comedic, There's like some messed up stuff happening, but at the same time it was like very comedic, and it really didn't feel that much messed up, but it was messed up nonetheless. Like the way Oji-san was treated when he went to the other world. But yeah, it is very funny, filled with so many hilarious moments, and the expressions that Oji-san makes are amazing, just too good. But yeah, this show is, I really hope, I don't know, I'm not sure if, I think this is a manga, isn't it? I really hope this continues, because I want to know what happens to Oji-san after this, and like the other world, what happens there, and like if there's some progression over there, if they're able to come here, all that stuff, I want to see. And that is why yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm going to put it in a really good tier, even though the final episode hasn't been aired. It'll probably be aired very soon, but yeah, and I would love if this gets a sequel later on. So yeah, hopefully. Right, the next one is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean Part 3. I'm going to be putting this over here. Yep. At the top. There you go. Alright, so this JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean Part 6 is the top anime of fall 2022. In the top tier shows, first position. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I wouldn't have put this on top if it didn't have that amazing ending. This show is another show that I would say that has one of the best endings to a series, especially a JoJo series, where like everything works out so well by the end of it. And I would say that, like I said, the same way I loved Mob Psycho's ending, I adored it. This part's ending in JoJo, I adored it as well. It has a very unique. It had a very unique approach up in the end, and I have to say, it started very normally, like by JoJo standards. Normally, I'm talking about, this show is bizarre and crazy. So by JoJo standard, it started normally. We had some crazy stuff happening even in the beginning episodes, like beginning 2 episodes, 3 episodes. But in JoJo standards, it started normally. But by the end, ending 3 to 4 episodes, it took a really interesting turn, and everything was, especially the final 2 episodes, were just mouth opening, baffling, surprising, and in no way would I have ever expected an animated season to end like this. And yeah, and in a very interesting way, the ending was extremely wholesome and bittersweet, you could say, but more towards the wholesome part. If you think about everything properly, it was very wholesome. And like I said, I feel like this, I said this while reacting to the show as well. I feel like out of all the seasons ending, like every season in JoJo, like season 1, 2, 3, 4, every season's ending, JoJo Part 6's ending is the best for me, because the ending was done extremely well. And yeah, and that is why I'm putting this in the top tier, because the final 3 or 4 episodes just made this go like boost up instantly on top in my list. And I'm not going to I'm not going to bring it down, even above Chainsaw Man, this put. And yeah, JoJo the show in itself is really good, with some really good storytelling, and like some really bizarre things happening. So even if I put that all aside, the final few episodes of this series was like some next level bizarre stuff happening, and in a very interesting way. in a very good way. And I remember, like, while reacting to it, constantly thinking, oh, why is this happening? Is it because of this? And then the next episode obviously answered my question, and I was like, oh, this part I got right, this part I got wrong. Like, I had to actively think what the hell is going on, trying to make theories as to what's going on. And you know what would have been better? If they did not put out every episode at the same time. Do this thing weekly. Like, I'm just so, this is one thing I get annoyed about shows, is that I like binge watching shows, but I feel like if they put every, like, episode at the same day, it kills the hype so much. I feel like this would have been so much more better if they put this weekly. Like, every week one episode came out, and like we had to think, like, oh, what's going on? Like one episode comes out and everyone would be like, oh, this happened, so maybe this is what's happening. People who have not read the manga, I'm talking about them. They would have probably think like, oh, maybe this is happening. And in the next episode, next week, like they'll have 1 week to think about theories and everything, and they'll think about it, and then next week they'll be watching the next show episode, and they'll be like, oh, like, no, I was wrong, this and that. However, every episode is like there. It's Netflix just, like, just loaded them out like on one day. Like, this way of, like, like, I don't know, I don't like it. I feel like a lot of people might disagree with me on this. Like, I like weekly ways they do anime shows. I really like that. So them, like, I think them putting out all the episodes in one batch is something that I hope to God that JoJo, like, JoJo shows, at least from the next season onwards, season 7 onwards, change, please. Like, make it weekly. Please don't do it like this. I feel like it would have been so much more interesting if they did it like that, especially for a show like JoJo, where you have to constantly think as to what's going on. But no, they just put out everything at the same day, and everyone has watched the anime in day one, and I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. But yeah, I feel like the weekly way is so much more interesting. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like weekly way, it kind of keeps the hype so much, and it becomes such a better experience. But yeah, I hope they change this way of doing stuff, like at least from the next season onwards. But other than that, like I was saying, this is definitely top tier show, and especially season 6, the ending was my most favorite ending. And yeah, top. All right, the next one is Rupan Zero, and I'm going to be putting it over here. It's really good, Rupan Zero. If you have not watched it, if you are a person who watches the Rupan franchise, this is a prequel, you could say. Even though it's not in the same universe as the normal Rupan show, it is a prequel, and it shows about Rupan's childhood, and we get to see a few characters who we have always heard about. That is Rupan's dad and the infamous Arsene Lupin, and a few other characters, recurring characters we see. And yeah, it was really interesting. They did it in a really interesting way, that they kept the art style from the 90s art style. They tried to keep it, even the coloring and everything. And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it was a solid show. Not many episodes, I think six episodes I think it had. A short show, but it really gave us a really few really good episodes. I remember one episode which I liked the most was the one which had Arsene Lupin in it. And like, it was really interesting to see him and what type of a person he is. But either way, yeah, people who watch Rupan, like, the Rupan franchise, I'm sure they've already watched it. But yeah, I'm sure they can agree with me on this. It was a really good show, and that's why it's here in this tier. And that is it. That's all the shows that I've watched. And like I said, there's a few which are not here, like To Your Eternity. I've still not watched it because it has 20 episodes. It's still ongoing. If I do a tier list like this next season, I'll be including it in that. And a few others like Blue Lock, it's still ongoing, so I'll be watching those all later. But the ones that I've watched in fall 2022 are all these. And yeah, this was my uh, tier list or my impressions about all these shows. So there you go. You can watch this on full screen. So yeah, that was it, guys. That was my tier list for fall 2022 animes. Now let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me about a few of these, and which one you like, which one you didn't like, and your impressions, if you want to say, in the comment section. And like I said, these are all subjective. This is how I felt about the show. A few people might disagree with me about a few of the rankings, but just my opinion, but either way, thank you for watching. This was my tier list for fall 2022. Like I said, I might do if I'm able to complete watching these shows within time, I might do winter 2023 after I finish watching all of them. And yeah, so yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, and comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. And yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.